This is a time for sadhana. What's sadhana? It's a Sanskrit word that essentially means practice. Ritual is a similar word, but ritual is a little too airy, a little too holy. Sadhana is human. It's dusty. It's got its sleeves rolled up. It's wiping sleep from its eyes. It's yawning. And this is really important. It often doesn't want to be there, but it's showing up anyway, imperfectly. It's showing up a little hungover to the training program that your highest self created. That's sadhana. One of the truest mantras I know is that what we practice, we become. Importantly, not just what we believe, but what we practice, what we embody, what we show up to consistently is what shifts us. Welcome to the Altar Podcast. I'm Nicole Meline. I'm a coach, a mentor, and a transformational experience designer. This podcast is the conversational counterpart to the Altar Spirited Fitness online platform and community that builds your strength and connects you to your heart and your purpose. For workouts that ignite your spirit and meditations that refine your vision, start your free trial at nicolemeline.com/altar. This podcast and altar workouts explore the practice of transformation, the practice of growth, as a dance between choice and flow, altering, changing, growing, becoming, and altering, offering, surrendering, opening to divine collaboration, exploring that space where effort meets magic, and wellness includes our bodies as well as our spirit, our creativity, and our community. So here are conversations around the big questions and unexpected swerves of our lives, full of heart, curiosity, and encouragement, an infusion of courage for the moments you need it most. I'm your host, Nicole Meline. Welcome to Altar. If I gave you a huge blank canvas and 100 different colors of paint and 50 different size paint brushes and said, paint whatever you want, what would you do? For most of us, we would do nothing for probably quite a while. The problem of infinite options, total freedom, total uncertainty is that we tend to be overwhelmed by it. Decision paralysis, being unable to make choices due to too many options. Total freedom can paralyze us. We'll waste hours imagining all the different options, all the different paths that we could go down. By contrast, what would happen if instead of 100 colors and 50 brushes, I gave you black, gold, and white, and one size of brush? I bet you just saw an image in your mind of what you'd paint. There's a maybe surprising correlation between limitation and creativity. Or we could choose to think of limitation as structure, direction, a channel for our imagination. There's this great phrase, constraint is the mother of creativity. Constraint is the mother of creativity. I want to ask you this question today. How much freedom do you feel in your life right now? And how disciplined do you feel? I'm not asking how much freedom you have in your life. We usually have even more than we think we have. But how free do you feel? And how disciplined, how structured do you feel? And how much of that freedom have you chosen and protected, made some boundaries around? And how much of the structure in your life have you chosen and created? Rituals, routines, rules that you have for yourself and your relationships. How free do you feel? And how safely held in trustworthy structure do you feel? I want to invite you to a few different resets and challenges I've created. The Energize and Ignite resets, the Uplift Strength Training Challenge, and my meditation albums. But I want to get into the why behind each of them and the larger why behind adopting any kind of structured practice, especially right now at this global moment. The relationship between structure and freedom is at the heart of the uncertainty of this moment globally. It's at the heart of our political discourse and the present volatility in the economy, and how hopeful or pessimistic we feel about creating our future. Our culture really prizes freedom. The freedom to do what we want, when we want, how we want, where we want, with whom we want. Endless possibility. We put a great value on that. And I value freedom in lots of different ways. But let's notice that freedom comes at the expense of trust, certainty, and stability. What makes a collective thing what it is a set of rules which everyone agrees to follow, a set of constraints, a set of limitations. This is true of a family, a company, a nation, a basketball team, a marching band, a book club, a yoga class. Let's think about a few examples of beautiful conformity and discipline. An orchestra playing a symphony, a Beyonce concert, all of the elements of it, or the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. Your favorite drink at your favorite coffee shop that always tastes the same every time you order it. A person you love showing up for you in the way you expected them to. I live in a house that's kind of a tree house, and when strong winds blow off the Colorado mountains, it sways a little bit. And I think at those moments about the importance of trustworthy structure and how my creative courage thrives when I feel safely held. You can't build a trustworthy business or relationship if it's changing every day, doing whatever it wants, if it's utterly free, if it's not itself. Starbucks achieves a global presence because anytime you walk into any Starbucks anywhere in the world, you can order the same drink made in the same way. It's dependable. You can trust the way it will taste, and you can build a global company on that trust. We have these amazingly infinite minds and imaginations capable of all the great creations of our world. And so exciting, all the creations yet to be imagined, yet to be created. And we live in bodies that have finite energy resources and need sleep and food and rhythm and routine. There's a surprising inverse relationship between structure and creativity. The safer we feel, the bolder we are, the farther we'll reach. When we've built ourselves a safety net we can trust, or a rhythm of practices that ground us, we dream bigger. A tree grows higher as its roots drop deeper. Grounding allows growth. We might think of artists as the most wild, unstructured people, and that can be true for young artists, especially those who often burn out really quickly. But the long haul artists we all admire that keep on reinventing themselves and their art are often quite structured in their approach to their work, with rituals and warm-ups and exercises that prepare them for the muse to arrive. So we need freedom and we need structure. This is a moment in the world of extreme uncertainty and instability. One of my favorite writers, Anne Lamott, recently said, we need to pause right now to build our inner infrastructure. Hear those words, your inner infrastructure. How do you imagine that? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it mean? Just like the fluidity of our bodies, all the ways we can move in all these different planes of motion relies on a solid, stable, connected skeleton and infrastructure of bones. Our ability to flow with and respond to life's unexpected twists depends on a solid infrastructure of core values and the rhythms and routines we choose to practice to embody those values. This is a time for sadhana. What's sadhana? It's a Sanskrit word that essentially means practice. Ritual is a similar word, but ritual is a little too airy, a little too holy. Sadhana is human It's dusty. It's got its sleeves rolled up. It's wiping sleep from its eyes. It's yawning. And this is really important. It often doesn't want to be there, but it's showing up anyway, imperfectly. It's showing up a little hungover to the training program that your highest self created. That's sadhana. One of the truest mantras I know is that what we practice, we become. Importantly, not just what we believe, but what we practice, what we embody, what we show up to consistently is what shifts us. A sadhana is a chosen practice, usually for a specific period of time, like 7 days or a month or 40 days or a year, that you decide to show up to in whatever state you're in so it can change you over time. BKS Iyengar, one of the Indian teachers who brought yoga to the West, defines sadhana as the practical disciplines needed to scale to spiritual heights. The important word is practical, as opposed to spiritual. Practice. It's what we do, whether we feel like it or not. And it's in the doing that our feelings shift. The origin text for yoga is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which was compiled around 2,000 years ago. And one of the very first ones, Sutra 1.33, says, the purpose of yoga is to master the reactive mind. It's maybe surprising. Not to build a strong body or to commune with God, but to master the reactive mind. So the physical practice or breath work trains us for freedom, trains us to not be slaves to the reactions, the fear, the anxiety, the wanderings of our thoughts. There's an ancient relationship between structure and freedom, chosen constraint and freedom. We often hear or maybe say the phrase, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. And I admire the openness, the hospitality, the curiosity I think that phrase is getting at. It's saying, I'm not closed and regimented, I'm open and hungry for all the ways the divine can be found. The root words, interestingly, of both religion and yoga have a common sense of binding oneself, which is obviously the opposite of freedom. Religion comes from the Latin word to bind. And yoga in Sanskrit means union, or the idea of yoking together like a team of oxen is yoked. And while binding yourself to something out of fear of the consequences limits freedom and pleasure, like we see in a lot of religion, but there's something beautiful and wise about choosing to be bound to a practice because it will give you more freedom. A practice of yoga, for example, gives you more freedom in your body and over your mind. Sadhana is a practice whereby bondage becomes liberation. Binding yourself to new and challenging practices, binding yourself to getting uncomfortable in new ways, frees you to be a fuller version of yourself. What daily practices could ultimately give you more freedom? Maybe especially freedom from the reactions of your mind. I've created a few sadhanas, focused programs of practice, as transformational structures for us amidst the swirl of this anxious time, focused on different goals. You can find all of them at nicolemeline.com/programs. If you want to reset your metabolism and your mindset towards your body, the way you think about your body, Energize is a 4-week reset for you to fall in love with your body and supercharge your metabolism at any age and any ability level. You can start immediately, and I also offer one-to-one personal mentorship with that as an option. You can move through Energize in just 15 minutes a day. It's efficient and powerfully transformative. Energize includes the Ignite 7-day reset, which gives you a taste of Energize as a 1-week reset for your body and spirit. I include elements of all of my programs in the Ignite reset as an introduction to them, and it's super affordable. If you want to focus on building muscle, getting stronger, and doing it efficiently from home with a few simple weights and kettlebells, I made the Uplift 10-day strength challenge just for you. weight training on-demand video workouts that are each just about 15 minutes long. So even if that's all you have time for, the only workout you're gonna do in a day, or if you add it to workouts you already love, like your daily run or your walk, you are going to feel and see serious results, a much stronger inner and outer infrastructure in 10 days. This is a moment where we need to be reminded every day of our strength, that we are not victims, we are visionaries. We're not objects, we're agents. We take action. A strong body is your refuge in grief and change. And if you want to begin or deepen your meditation practice, my meditation albums are 7 or 9 or 14-day audio meditations, all less than 10 minutes, focused on different themes to cultivate a calm and powerfully focused presence. Having a breathwork and meditation practice helps me to regulate my nervous system when I get triggered by something or see something scary or infuriating in the news. You'll be amazed at how your inner state can shift in just a week of daily practice. And my own space to consistently practice with you is the Altar Together platform and community. This month's new workout is called Inner Infrastructure. So meet me there to embody this theme together that we've just started to explore. Altar workouts connect us to our hearts and give us a chance to express everything we're feeling and gives our anxiety a way to exit our bodies. As we break a sweat, we open all the channels of our bodies. And when we practice this kind of soulful movement, we start to move through the world awake and aligned. All of these experiences, these sadhanas, are available at nicolemeline.com/programs, and I'd love to invite you to join me in them. And there are also a few spaces still open for the retreat I'm hosting this summer, July 23rd through 27th, on a gorgeous mountain ranch just outside of Aspen, Colorado. Through altar morning workouts and hikes to alpine lakes and workshops and farm-to-table feasts and so much more, we're going to be exploring the theme of evergreen joy, cultivating a mode of joy through all of life's seasons and challenges. You can find out all about it at nicolemeline.com/alteredjourneys. Let's land on this vision of inner infrastructure. Take a deep breath into these questions. What does your inner infrastructure look like? The infrastructure of your soul. What is the quality of your inner infrastructure? What material is it built of? What values, virtues, pleasures, boundaries, sadhanas? Let's attend to it, especially right now, with all that is going on in the world, as we altar together. Thank you for listening to the Altar Podcast. I'm Nicole Meline, and I would love to hear what this conversation has stirred in you. Please follow, rate, and review or comment on this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Connect with me on Instagram at Nicole Meline and at Altar Together, and share this episode on social media or just text it to a friend real quick right now so we can build like-hearted community. For special offers and first invitations to new events and retreats, join my newsletter at nicolemeline.com, where you can also explore my programs, including the Visionary Master Course and Energize Reset, personal mentorship with me, and the Altar Together digital studio and community. You can also visit the episode page for this podcast for resources and links to what we discussed today. I am grateful to grow with you as we altar together.